So you probably come to this video because you're really struggling against Ling Xiaoyu. Well, I'm a Ling Xiaoyu specialist. I main her. It's the only character I've ever played. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to counter some of the stuff she does in blue, which it just surprises me how many people just don't know what to do when a Ling Xiaoyu goes into blue. And if they do, they only have like one move and they don't know their counters to their counter. So anyway, we'll jump in and I'm going to show you all the options and then I'll show you kind of how to deal with them. So basically for Ling Xiaoyu, her goal is to get into blue. She's at her strongest when she's in blue. And there's different ways to do it. I can do back 4-1, get into blue. I can do this one, into blue. I can do this one, into blue. Basically off Hypnotist. And I can do this into blue. And then the last one, this one, right? So basically I'm going to try one of those options to get into blue, right? Once I get into blue, then that's where the hard game appears for most people. Because a good Ling Xiaoyu is probably going to hit you up with a mix-up. And one of the key mix-ups is this one. There's one there, and there's one here. Now from this mix-up, I have a choice. I can go low and air you. I can go mid. And I can go... Actually got two other options. I've kind of got this sidestep hit high, like that, and I've also got this other one here, which I don't use so much. You probably don't see it, but it does exist. Sorry, let me do it again. It does exist, which is this one. So I got basically those 5 options, right? Now, I don't necessarily have to do Hypnotist in blue, but that's kind of her strongest stuff, basically, in blue. Now, how do you deal with that? Because it's like, that's a lot of stuff to try and guess. Now, what most people do is, when the Ling Xiaoyu goes into Hypnotist, they basically try and hit her out of it. So if I try and use this as an example, it's kind of timing wise, but you just gotta like, there you go, hit her out of it, right? And then now you don't have to deal with any of the Ling Xiaoyu nonsense, right? So you'll see a lot of players do that. They'll just wait for the Hypnotist and then hit them through. Now, as long as you block the first ones, it will work. If you don't block the first ones, you kind of get jailed. And then we'll do it again. Okay, now I'm just doing down forward 2. That's all I'm doing there. So that, you could say, okay, that's going to counter pretty much all the options, right? Because most of these things were going into Hypnotist. It was like 4 moves from Hypnotist. The only exception was this one. Now, why is this important? Well, this is the key. What a lot of good Ling Xiaoyu players probably don't realize is that, well, I shouldn't say good, a lot of the average Ling Xiaoyu players, they'll just do the Hypnotist stuff, they'll get cancelled there and they'll be like, oh no, my offense is ruined. The way to counter that move that a lot of like decent defenders do is basically do this option. And then this is where you as a defender against Ling Xiaoyu are probably having problems if you come across a good one. Some of you might have not known how to do that one, right? To stop the Hypnotist, so there you go. Make sure you learn how to stop that Hypnotist. But then it's gonna break when you get someone that does this. It's not gonna work, so I'm gonna show you something here and why that's the case. So I think I set it to this one. So let me double check it. So I'll do the same thing. See what I mean? I get smacked. Now, it doesn't really matter what move I do. There is no way for me to like... Oh, correction. There is one way. Okay, let's see this. One, two. Yeah, the jab doesn't work. So the only thing you can do is something lower than 10 frames, which is the parry. So if your character's got a parry, you can do that. I just learned that then. There you go. They didn't know that. So I guess a flash from a Yoshimitsu could work in that situation. But the most common way is that people will sidestep it. But yeah, if you're doing that down forward 1, someone's going to counter you most of the time. But how I've seen it is people will sidestep it. Let's go again. I think it's sidestep left. Oh my god, just do it. Okay, here we go. And you gotta pre-buff it. There you go, sidestep left. And then that's how you avoid it. Now, why is sidestep left? That's gonna work on all characters, particularly one that doesn't have that low parry that that little low frame rate move. But if you got one, obviously you can throw that out and then start your offense. But why is the sidestep important? Well, if basically it will counter the mid as well. So a lot of people, they'll just block. If they don't know how to deal with the Hypnotist, they'll just block and just guess the 50-50. problem with blocking is this. You basically have to guess if I'm going to go high, mid, or low. And realistically, you're going to be guessing if I'm going to be like mid or high or low, right? Now, there is one exception, which I'll get to at the end. But mid or high or low, right? So then it's like, it's a 50-50 chance from your perspective whether you guess right. The thing with the sidestep is, it will avoid that. And it will avoid this one. Which realistically is pretty much your main concerns. Very rarely will a Ling Xiaoyu do this move unless they see you sidestepping. That's the only counter to you sidestepping. And this one, the low, is also the counter to the sidestep, right? So if you're going to be guessing mid, it's a lot better to sidestep the mid than it is to block the mid. So that's like some learning point I picked up playing against people. A lot of people block the mid, you kind of don't. If you sidestep the mid, it'll be your turn. So if we do that, so we'll just set both of them to random, and then we'll just try and sidestep them. So 1, 2, see? Now it's your turn. You got like a great position, as opposed to just blocking it. And then that, great position, right? Now if I don't do that, watch this. What most players do, it's the Ling Xiaoyu's turn still, right? Like, you might as well sidestep left if you're choosing to block mid, is kind of my point. Right? So at least it's your turn. Now, yes, okay. Well, what if I think they're going to be going the low? I think I've got them here. So let's give that a go. What happens if I sidestep and she doesn't do the mid? Well, let's see. Okay, so it dodges one of the highs, so that's great, right? So if they do that like rare circle high, you're good. So it's going to dodge the high. It doesn't dodge the low, but we kind of expected that. And then hopefully she throws out the last version. That's the low. That's the cook. I might put it on this one. The like double high, it won't, it'll track you basically. But you beat the mid, you beat the one that just skips hypnotist, you beat one of the high kicks, so that's like 3 of the 5 options really, or 3 of the 6 options that you've just beaten with the sidestep, and it's your turn. Versus just blocking. Blocking, you would have been hit, and it would have been plus frames on the Ling Xiaoyu most likely, and it's still their turn, so then they can keep their offense up, right? So way better to sidestep in that situation. So if you're having trouble with Ling Xiaoyu, just bear in mind, if you think they're gonna go and do one of those moves, sidestep left. Now, how do you deal with the low? Well, what we covered at the start, right? We can stop her from doing a hypnotist, right? Now we can just do the down forward one. And that's gonna stop all of the moves except for the earlier one, right? So basically, if you're not seeing that Ling Xiaoyu do that, if you're not seeing her do this move, if you're not seeing your Ling Xiaoyu do that move, then you don't even have to worry with the guessing game. Just wait for the hypnotist and get really good at down forward one-ing it. The only time you have to worry about the sidestep stuff is if you're being fancy or you see the Ling Xiaoyu start throwing this in. Right? If she throws that in, then now you got to be a little bit more advanced with your strategy. And if I see someone countering my hypnotist, I immediately am going into that other move, right? Which only works in blue, by the way. I'm immediately going into that move because it's rare for someone to sidestep it. Now, if I see them sidestep it as a Ling Xiaoyu player, I'm going, all right, they sidestepped that. They're gonna think I'm gonna do it again, so I'm gonna do this one, right? But now, as you being the defender, you should probably keep an eye out on the hypnotist regardless. So when you see these 2 moves, if you see hypnotist, quickly do your down forward one, and you're gonna have to rep that. And then that's gonna shut down me trying to counter you sidestepping. But if you're stubborn and you're going for that sidestep, I'm gonna switch up to that and hit you. Just bear in mind your sidestep's not 100% safe, which we saw earlier. Now there is one more option I can do from this position, but if you're shutting down hypnotist, it's never gonna be a problem. But I can do an unblockable attack there, which you can't block if you get hit by it. Now, best situation is to stop it in the hypnotist stage, but if it gets to that point, just same deal, down for 1 mid, or just hit me with a mid basically, so that I can't execute my unblockable on you. So just bear in mind that if you're like overly defensive kind of person, sometimes I'll read that as a Ling Xiaoyu player, and I'll go, I think this person's going to keep blocking, so I'll hit you with the unblockable, right? So that I don't even have to worry about you guessing my 50-50. So hopefully that helps with dealing with Ling Xiaoyu's like general mix-up stuff. Now, probably the last thing to cover is there are different ways for me to execute the same 50-50. So you might see Ling Xiaoyu's doing this. It's not the only way. I can do it like this. I can do it from back position. Okay, and then there was another way. I got it recorded. I think it was this one. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's this way. Alright, let's not do that. Let's stop her. Okay, the last way is this. I'll go into blue just so you can see it. I'll run up and I hit you with that straight into Hypnotist. Now why that's really important to know is because of this reason. So if I make you defend, block everything. Now if I throw this up, I'm +9. So if I get that, I can basically protect the Hypnotist. It's not like perfect, but it gives me a bit more of a chance to maybe pull that move off, right? A 9-frame move. Now if you're going to be stopping Hypnotist with something that's a small frame like this, then you might be fine, like Flash. But if you're stopping it with that down forward 1 move, you're probably not going to beat that. So just bear in mind that I can come up and hit you with that high and get into a plus frame. So yeah, that's basically the ways you're going to see someone try and like apply their offense. Now that's -2. That's neutral. So like preferentially from like order of the ways I should get into Hypnotist, if I'm gonna go into Hypnotist, that should be my first choice. This should be my second choice. And this would be my last choice, right? Now this one's good because it goes into this combo. That goes into this combo. But this one here, it's only going to go into Hypnotist. So that's going to get you like mentally prepared on what you're exactly trying to defend at this moment. If you see these, if you see this one here, then you got like the 6 options. If you see this one, well then you've only got the 4 or 5 options, right? And if you see this one, well, you definitely should be hitting me out of Hypnotist. You're only going to be dealing with the Hypnotist from that position. Unless they decide to like finish the, just not go into Hypnotist. Like, I don't have to go into Hypnotist from that position, right? I can just finish off the string or do something different, right? So just keep that in mind that they're not like automatic things into Hypnotist. Even this one, I can stop it. I can stop it, right? I don't have to do Hypnotist, right? So I could kind of expect you to do something. I could do this and then like parry you as an example and stop you trying to like punish it with a jab or something if you were like reacting wrong. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I know that was kind of like probably not a really clean way to explain it, but I definitely covered everything you probably need to look out for as a Ling Xiaoyu like defender. So hopefully that helps. If it does, hit me up with a like and I'll try and make more of these Ling Xiaoyu videos in the future. And on that note, take care and good luck fighting Ling Xiaoyu. See you all, bye bye.